Here is a woman named Lakshmi. She was very clever and intelligent at her studies. She always wanted to see herself as a singer. One day, she was performing a song in her college and received the Best Singer award. She was very happy to receive the award. She was going home very happy, thinking to convince her father to make him accept to pursue her career in singing. But when she went home, to her surprise, she saw a bunch of new people sitting around. They were looking at Lakshmi and saying that she was good. And Lakshmi soon went into the house and was asked to serve tea and coffee for them. And everybody was replying, "We like the person." So soon Lakshmi came to realize that she is going to get married soon. This was a big shock for Lakshmi. So she went to his father and begged her mother to give her little time because her education was not completed. She is all pursuing her second year of graduation. But everything went in vain and everything happened in a flash. By the time she realized what's happening around her, she was already in the in-laws' house, serving her in-laws and running after the husband. She did not know what was happening. Forget about the goal. She didn't have time to breathe. She was very busy with the household works. I think this is what happens to the majority of the women in the society. Majority of them are the victim of parents' thoughts. So was Lakshmi. She was very busy in the house looking after everyone with immense care, but she was not getting the minimum response and minimum care from their family members. The only reason was she was not able to become a mother even after 6 years of their marriage. So criticism was at her doorstep and insults became her friend. And the family was also in discussion of divorcing Lakshmi because she is not able to give birth to a child. There was no temple that Lakshmi did not visit, and there is no God left that she did not pray to. I think after many days, God answered her prayers. One day she was in the hospital hearing the good news from the doctor that she is going to become a mother soon. Lakshmi was delighted and happy. She was already feeling the child inside her stomach. And you know what it means for a mother to give birth to a child. Lakshmi ran to the house and wanted to share this good news with the family members. But the answer was quite different. When she shared the same news to her husband, his answer really shocked Lakshmi. He told that, "I am done with you and I really don't want to stay with you anymore." This really disappointed Lakshmi and she broke out into tears. Lakshmi was left out with only one option, to get out of the house and take care of the child, and so she did. She did not want anything to disturb from the child, so she kept on reading books and she kept on watching motivational videos to become very strong herself, and Lakshmi was being so. But it was very difficult for her to balance both work and health, so on the advice of a doctor, she has left her job for some days and was taking care of the baby. But every day was like a hell for Lakshmi because of the health complications she is having during pregnancy. She was not able to eat food properly, she was not able to sleep properly, and many complications were showing hell for Lakshmi. But only one reason made her to carry all this, that is, the baby inside her womb. She was very strong and very determined, going through the stream of sorrows which she is facing, along with the pregnancy and also along with the things around her. She was the only person taking care of herself. She was entering the operation theatre with lot of tension and lot of hopes. And finally, she gave birth to a baby boy. Looking at the boy, all her tears came down. She felt finally she had a purpose and goal of her life in the form of Arjun, the baby boy. We really understand and we really know what does it mean for a woman to see a child after all the pain she has undergone for the 9 months of her life. He turned out to be the strength and weakness of Lakshmi. Lakshmi was facing some wonderful phase of her life. This little fellow was also growing very good and very clever and intelligent in his studies. He started realizing he was the only one for his mama and his mama was the only one for him. So he also started to concentrate on the things which he is doing. Lakshmi was looking for the best schools and planning best education facilities, and she always had a goal of sending son to abroad and giving him a great career. But Lakshmi was not aware what goal his son might have because he is the one who has to take care of his career. Lakshmi was not waiting for his son to come and say his goal, but she was very much into the work already. She started working part-time, she started working full-time, she started working all the means and gathering all the money necessary for son to give him a great career, and she was toiling very hard. Arjun observed all this because his mama is not even taking proper food because of the work she is going in with. So one day when his mother was walking in the home, he took plate of food and went and served his mama with the food. Now is the time when Lakshmi really felt baby boy is no more a boy and he has grown up. And when the tears were flowing from mama's eyes, Arjun wiped the tears and told, "I want to go to the US and pursue my career." But Lakshmi was surprised to know this. How come do you know this better? Then Arjun replied, Mama, when you're doing everything to me, can't I know something about you? Trust me, Ma, I promise you that I'll go to the US and pursue my career and come back and take care of you like princess because your goal is my goal. So Arjun also started working very hard and taking the training necessary to go to abroad. So he was giving his best in preparing for the entrance examinations. He was such an intelligent fellow that he cracked the examinations in the first attempt and he got admission in the top universities in the US, and he went and told this news to his mother when she was very much excited and delighted. Congratulations poured down and they were both happy and delighted. But that one thing which was worrying both of them was the fee structure the universities were asking them to pay. The fee structures which they have to pay for the admission was huge for them. They could afford only 10% of the fee structure. But Lakshmi knew some of the government schemes with the help of some neighbors and with relatives and some belonging people. She was able to arrange only some amount, but that amount was only 50% of the fee which was required for the universities. Lakshmi was trying in all means and going to door and was talking to everybody for some help, but nothing was going in her way. During these days, one day she had to go to hospital for a general checkup. So once she was in the hospital, she heard a news that there was a rich patient in the hospital who was looking for a heart transplantation, and he was ready to pay in crores if anybody has come forward for a heart transplantation. Lakshmi was giving a thought about this, but she knew this was a bad idea. Even though if I give crores to my son, how could my son survive without me? So thinking this is not happening, she was going to the house. Lakshmi decided to convince son to stay back because they are not able to afford to this. And on her way to home, Lakshmi met one of her old friends and she congratulated knowing the news Arjun got an admission at the top university. She really pleaded and requested Lakshmi not to give up on this by any means because you know Lakshmi, once your son pursues his career in that university, he is going to turn big and he has to never look back in his career. So give your best. Lakshmi again went back to her thoughts, but anyway she felt that she is not able to afford that fees and they are going to fall into troubles. So she thought of convincing Arjun to stay back, and once she reached home, she already saw Arjun weeping. Arjun came to her mother, caught hold of her mother and cried to bits, requesting her, Mama, I am seeing whatever you are going through, but please let's do this. I don't want to give up on my career. I really want to go to US and pursue my career. So saying, he went to his room and locked himself. It was night and Lakshmi was in thoughts all through the night, but she did not find a solution to this. After getting up early in the morning, Lakshmi almost lost her breath by seeing Arjun lying on the bed have taken poison, and in the letter he has written clearly, Mama, excuse me for this. I am not able to pursue your goal and I really feel not to live without pursuing my goal. Please excuse me for what I am doing. Lakshmi was almost lost. But somewhere she had hope and she carried him to the hospital. After carrying him through the hospital, she was into bits and there came a good news, the good news of her life. Doctor told Lakshmi that you are on time and your son is back. Lakshmi was very happy and caught hold of her child and was crying to bits, and she was scolded Arjun, how could you do this to me, beta? But Arjun was very sorry for this. Now Lakshmi told Arjun, beta, you are going to the US because one of my friends have come forward and he is ready to afford to our expenses to study in the abroad. Arjun was very happy for this and he hugged his mother in great joy. Lakshmi was left with only two options. One option was her life and second option was her son, and she opted for son's career. So she went to the rich patient in the hospital and gave them a word, I am ready for the heart transplantation. You know what all a mother does for the sake of children in the family. If there is any person in this world whom you go and ask, give me your life, and you will definitely be mother, she will not think about a minute to sacrifice her life, and Lakshmi also did the same. Finally, the day has come. The day when Arjun has to leave the country and go to abroad. Arjun was packing the things in excitement and he was so happy for the happenings to come into his life. But it was Lakshmi standing in one corner and weeping like a baby because it is the last day that she is looking at her loved one. She is packing the things, she is making everything ready for Arjun, but she was disappointed and she was very unhappy for the things which are happening in her life. For every 5 minutes, she was going to Arjun, hugging him, kissing him and encouraging him to take care of his life when he is alone. Arjun was a bit surprised and a bit excited, but he did not know why his mother is behaving like this. Again she went back and Lakshmi was so sure that she should not let son come back, so she was keeping her emotions. Finally, they were moving towards the airport. Lakshmi caught hold of her child's arms and she was sleeping on his shoulders, still telling the same things to be very strong and take care of his life. They reached the airport and she was knowing that in very 5 to 10 minutes she is going to leave her loved one. Finally, Lakshmi really bursted out. She could not control the emotions. She caught hold of her child and cried bitterly like a baby. Arjun understood this. His mother was crying so badly because he has to spend 2 years alone and will not be able to return for some long time. But he really did not know the truth behind it. It was final call for the passengers and Arjun was ready to move. Lakshmi could not control her emotions and she bursted out, catching hold of the son very tight. Arjun was also emotional, but he could understand the emotion of her mother, but he did not know the reality behind it. Now, Arjun was moving towards the plane. As the person was moving bit by bit, Lakshmi was losing her breath and she knew her breath was going away and away. Finally, she stretched her arms and kissed the baby, the love of his life, and said goodbye to him. Finally, Arjun flew away. What all a mother can do for the sake of her son. She can sacrifice everything for sake of her son, and Lakshmi proved it. Now finally, Lakshmi returned to the hospital and she was on the bed for the heart transplantation. Even during this time, she had the photograph of her child looking at him and crying for him. At one point, she had a doubt whether her decision was right, but on the other corner of the heart, she was very happy that she made her son to reach his goal, which was also her goal. A true mother's love cannot make a son timid and dependent. Rather, it makes the son more independent and even stronger. I think this would happen to Arjun in his future. A man loves his sweetheart more, his wife the best, but mother the longest. The influence of mother's love is beyond calculation. The love of mother is beyond imagination. Whoever tries to describe mother in whichever language on the planet, it definitely looks incomplete because mother is the purest form of love and beyond the laws of nature.